Alright, well, howdy there, citizens of the future. I don't know if you can tell, but the battery on my camera is nearly dead, which means this might very well be my final entry into these survival vlogs. I'm here looking out over the city on top of Mount Amaleucas, of course originally found by my grandfather, one Jonathan Newt Cubbington, or just John Cub as he often called himself. I feel like I need to start providing more information in these because if anyone ever finds these SD cards, this might be the final record of my life. Well, my name is Jonathan Rees. I am, of course, the grandson of Jonathan Newt Cubbington. One of two. My brother, engineer, what is his title? Something. Rees, I think they just call him by his last name. He's up in the stars somewhere on the Blightfall project. And if I can ever find a way to contact him and tell him to come home, you better believe I'm going to do that, even if I have to lie to get him back here, because it's real depressing. I had a wife. I had a kid. They're dead now. And to be honest, I wasn't even sure if what I was doing here was the right thing. Rebuilding society? This society is what brought the disaster to this world. The earth and cradle will never be the same again because of this danged technology. Anyway, the purpose of this video, this final entry, is I decided to redo the flooring, and I ended up finding this chest with the journal of my grandfather, Jonathan Newt Cubbington. Now, you'll notice they do call him, or he calls himself rather, Burnt Newt. That's a reference to his adventures. My grandfather, he was quite eccentric. When he was a younger man, he worked as a scout for some sort of resource company. He never really went into detail about that, but what he did go into detail about were his adventures. He once got stranded on an island. He once crashed his plane in the frozen north, and he had a theory about lava raising the dead, and of course we thought he was crazy, but then scientists opened a portal into the Hellscape, and there were the undead walking around in tainted lava, and anyway, what I'm starting to think is maybe Grandpa wasn't so crazy. See, he went missing about 15 years ago, right after scientists opened the portal to the Hellscape. 5 years after that, they discovered another dimension, and they just a year ago opened that portal. And that's what brought the doom upon the world. Anyway, after they found the entrance to the Hellscape, Grandpa just started chattering on and on about how maybe he'd found out the secret to... he was crazy. He was a crazy man, I say. But he said he'd finally been vindicated and he needed to go find the brothers, which I think is a reference to the ancient brothers who founded the Earth and Cradle. It's a long story. There's a lot of backstory to unpack there. What matters is, according to this journal, I think I know where he went. And I've got to go find him. If he's still alive. It's been 15 years, but he was in pretty good health, physically. Before this dies, I just want everyone to know I've done what I could to rebuild society here. And if anyone survives, I just want to say that
Unfortunately, that was the final official record ever made by one Jonathan Rees. What happened after that is mostly up to myth and legend. Of course, we have a much better record of what his brother was doing, up in the stars in the Blightfall project. In fact, my colleague Rees and I were able to create a small mini-series, a sort of dramatization of his adventures during the Blightfall project. Unfortunately, the filming of that series was cut short when one Raymond Card decided to interrupt, but I feel like we captured the essence of the actual event. At some point, we do know that the brother returned, but his technological ways clashed with Jonathan Rees's more archaic interests. You see, he decided that technology had ruined his world, and he wanted nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, his starbound brother had embraced it. At least that's what the legends say. That's how it all began. There are certainly more mysteries to unpack. It will take time, but I hope that someday we'll have a complete record of what transpired between the two. And the war that began, that shook the Earth and Cradle to its core, and brought about our greatest enemy.